What's up everyone? Off the cuff reviews here. So today I have a new video and we're gonna be giving you guys some movie recommendations, so let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about Italian horror and Giallo. Now, I know Giallo is more of like a subgenre of Italian horror. It's Giallo meaning yellow, and they kind of take that and run with it in this subgenre, but they are really similar, so I wanted to just kind of give you one video where you guys can appreciate both of these genres. So Giallo refers to films that are about crime and mysteries and are kind of more like thriller based, but there's a lot of crossover with horror. There's a lot of Giallo horror movies. So today I wanted to give you guys recommendations for these movies that are in these specific subgenres of horror, Italian horror and Giallo horror. And I wanted to give you these recommendations because most of these films that I'm going to be talking about today are free on Tubi. They have a wild selection of Italian horror movies, so I just wanted to put these on your radar. And I also am going to give you a couple that aren't on Tubi in case you wanted to seek out some other deep cuts that you might be interested in. Again, Italian horror doesn't just mean Giallo and vice versa. Giallo has some really distinct features about it, like black glove killer usually, and yellow text or posters. These films also rely heavily on overdubbing of voices, regardless of language. Even if it is English, they will literally overdub it with a different actor in English. It's just like kind of like a staple of the genre. Like if you are going to watch a movie like this, expect it to be overdubbed with other actors' voices. Also, a lot of these movies are sleazy, so if you're into that type of stuff, stick around because there's definitely some really good picks here. I mean, who doesn't love a sleazy crime horror movie? Now let's get into some of the recommendations that are on this list. Again, you can find these on Tubi, at least most of them. First one on this list is going to be like one of the movies that you have to watch if you're going to go into this genre, and that is Demons from 1985. Directed by Lamberto Bava and produced by the maestro himself, Dario Argento. The plot is about a couple of people who were given tickets to a mysterious movie screening where they become trapped in the theater with demons. There are some amazing practical effects in this movie, and this is like one of the classics in this genre. Like if you guys are going to get into this, I recommend this one. Like it's so good. The soundtrack of this, the 80s rock soundtrack, so incredible. This is one of the best movies out there in this genre. Definitely check it out. It's free on Tubi. I'm not gonna go in depth for every one of these picks. If you want to, just please pause and write down one of these suggestions if you're into that, and go check it out. The next recommendation that I have for you is Strip Nude for Your Killer. This one is more of a Giallo than anything else. It is really sleazy, and honestly, it's pretty good and underrated for this genre and for this time period. The next one that I have on the list is Cemetery Man. It's on Tubi, and it's a really fun Italian horror movie. We just watched this on The Last Drive-In recently, so if you guys have Shudder, it's also on there with Joe Bob. But go check this out. It's free on Tubi if you want to check it. The next one on this list I have is Don't Torture a Duckling. Directed by Lucio Fulci, and something you will find is a lot of these more popular movies are directed by the same directors, because honestly, they're all legends. Don't Torture a Duckling is a Giallo film, but personally, if I'm gonna be honest, it's not one of my favorites, but I didn't want to leave it off of the list because it is on Tubi and it is free and it might speak to one of you. Now, the next one on this list I haven't actually seen yet. It is on my watch list. It is on Tubi, but it's called Kill Baby Kill. This one, I believe, is by Lamberto Bava. I could be wrong in that director, but This one was just mentioned in the new Beetlejuice movie, which is why I wanted to add it here because I thought it was pretty relevant. The next one on this list is The Bird and the Crystal Plumage. This is the directorial debut of Dario Argento himself. It is a Giallo film, so strap in. Dario Argento is on this list again with Tenebrae, which is one of the best Giallo films, if not one of the best horror films that there is to watch. It is incredible. It is a pretty by-the-book Giallo film, but it is a really good one. And the direction here is masterful. Argento is just proving that he is the top guy to be directing Giallo movies. Now, I wanted to also mention a couple other movies, Bay of Blood and Autopsy, both Giallo movies, and they are on Tubi right now. I believe both of those are also on Shudder. The Beyond is another great, iconic horror film in this genre if you want to check it out. And, you know, there are a bunch more that I haven't mentioned here yet that you should check out that are free on Tubi. And there are a lot of others that are not on Tubi, and I wanted to give you a couple of recommendations that you can go check out if you haven't, you know, like heard of these yet. So the first one I want to mention is Demons 2, which is the follow-up to Demons that I mentioned earlier in this video. And Demons 2, also stellar soundtrack. It is almost like exactly the same storyline in this sequel, but it's just also really good. It's just a really cool, fun movie that has a lot of great practical effects. These two movies go hand in hand. They are great. Now, you can also find a lot of these extra movies I'm talking about on Shudder, and if they're not on Shudder, you can probably just find them on another streaming service. But another one I wanted to mention is The New York Ripper, which I do believe is on Shudder. We just watched that on Shudder actually. And I think this one's by Lucio Fulci, and it's a really sleazy movie. It is like disgustingly sleazy. It's one of those like it's a sleazy movie. It is misogynistic. It is gross. Like, and I mean gross in like the dialogue way. Like, it's not really like super gross in like the gore way, but it's gross in just like the way people are treating women in this movie. But it is a really good like Giallo film. Blood and Black Lace I also wanted to mention on here. Torso I wanted to mention on here as well, which we haven't seen yet, but it is on our watch list. And then another one I wanted to mention here is Opera by Dario Argento. It is iconic. It is so good. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think you guys should check it out. I also wanted to mention Inferno as well. Now, I hope you guys take a chance on this genre. I know it can be a little bit hard to get into. There are really some great movies out there that you guys can check out, and a lot of them are up for free. So go dip your foot in, go check this out, and hopefully even if you are into this genre, maybe I put a movie on your radar that you haven't seen yet. Because obviously I've seen a lot of Giallos, but I haven't seen all of them, as you could tell just from this video alone. So go check it out. There are definitely a lot of hidden gems in this genre, and in fact, like, they're so underrated that, like, in my opinion, some of these movies that I've mentioned are some of the best horror movies of all time. Like Opera, for example, or Tenebrae. Like, Dario Argento is just a masterful director, and he directs these types of movies, so go check it out. And by the way, before I let you guys go, if you guys haven't seen the pretty much the one and only acting lead role from Dario Argento, called Vortex, the movie called Vortex, directed by Gaspar Noé, I implore you all to go check that movie out. I do not know which streaming service it's on. I don't know if it's on Shudder or if it's on... Actually, I don't think it's on Shudder. And I don't know if it's on Tubi. But go seek that movie out. It is a little bit weird directing, like, Gaspar Noé is pretty experimental in his directing style, and this one is literally a split screen movie, so it can be a little bit confusing at times, but it is like one of the most heartbreaking movies. It's about a man who is like about an old man and woman who are like, they have like dementia or something, and they're like losing it, and it just kind of talks about that. And it's like the movie like The Father, but imagine that, but like in a way more like hardcore way, because Gaspar Noé doesn't skimp on that kind of stuff, and it's just really, it hits home, and it's just a really good performance by Dario Argento. Who would have thought? Mr. Director himself, Dario Argento. I didn't know he could actually act like this, but he's a really good actor, and I was kind of hoping that he would have won like an award, but he didn't, and I think he's snubbed because that movie's good. So go seek that out if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. Anyway, I bid you guys a farewell. Thank you for watching. I hope that you guys take a chance on this genre if you haven't yet, and I hope you guys stick around for more recommendations. Thanks for watching.
They call me a god.